Hey everybody, I'm Jack, Tabletop Scan Man. The guys at Revopoint were very kind enough to send me this, the Revopoint Mini 2 3D scanner. So I thought I would compare it to this, the Revopoint Mini 1 scanner. Gonna go through and scan a couple of objects, see what the differences are between the two, and then finally make a recommendation on whether it's worth going for the Mini 2 or the Mini 1. Let's take a look. So to start out with, let's compare the spec sheets. On the Mini 1 and the Mini 2, you'll notice that they both share the same accuracy for frame and single point accuracy values. Where they do start to differ is in frame rate size and the amount of frames per second that they gather. So technically, you should be able to move faster with the Mini 2 than you can the Mini 1, and you should be able to gather a larger scanning area with the Mini 2 than you can with the Mini 1. But does that check out? The first thing I think we're going to try scanning is the thing that you will all try scanning. It's that guy. The little mini bust you get in the Revopoint Mini boxes. There's some slight differences between the Mini 1 and the Mini 2 one. I'm assuming that's tooling wear over the years where they've shipped these things out. So I will be using the Mini 2 version because that will be the most up-to-date one. With the bust scans, I must say I'm not expecting them to be terrible at all. It's the perfect level of matteness, the perfect brightness, the perfect everything that you need for this scanner. It's not got super crispy detail on the model itself, so I don't know off the bat what we're going to see in the difference between these two, but hopefully there's something. So I should probably take a moment to talk about the setup of this to make sure that I get a similar testing environment between the two scanners. I've set up a black storage box where my turntable sits inside. I've also set up a sort of bin bag arrangement on the outside to block any external light going into that. So they should both be under the same lighting conditions. There's not going to be any other changes that I think would interfere with this particular test. So we're going to scan everything with the Mini 2 first. As you can see, everything's in the excellent range. Just going to hit start. So I think that's enough right there. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, we're missing a bit of detail on the top. I think I'm going to lay that on its side. And we go again. Let's just make sure that matches up. We're good. Alright, let's stop that. So otherwise we get overlap. So that was good. It managed to pick the tracking up just fine. And there's a couple of little noisy points in there. I'm guessing they'll get taken out in a minute once we go to complete this. And it's worth noting the current frame rate is 13.2. So I hit complete on that scan. We're going to go over to use it, and then all I'm going to do is click advanced there and drop that down as far as I can just to speed this up. Okay, so we advanced that, which looks quite nice. Final finish on that is pretty good actually. Let's run some isolation checks. I should have done this in the thing maybe, but whatever. Let's get rid of those dots, and there we go. One finished bust, looking exactly like we wanted to. Right, let's finally get this meshed 6. So that's the final thing. They look pretty good. Pay attention to the smaller details around where the eyes are and things like that. But now, let's plug the Mini 1 in and give that a go. Right, so that's all connected up. Let's do Mini 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, so where are we with that? So that's in the same position the Mini 2 was, but that's only in good, so I'm going to need to shift things around a touch. Bear with. So I think that is about as far as I want to go with that. It's capturing most of the detail, but as you can see, it's definitely a smaller capturing window. I don't know that because it is closer by quite a margin, so is it bigger or is it just closer up? Don't know. I'll have to devise a way of figuring out how to do that and figure that out. But let's get this scanned and sorted. So play on that, start on the turntable. Again, we're going at 36 seconds per rotation on this, purely because I don't think these scanners like going slow. I think that's it. Let's have a look. So again, we got that big blob on his head missing, so let's chuck it on its side and see how we get on. So there it is on its side. There's plenty of detail there for it to capture, so I'm just hoping it will run. Again, we're going to run this at 36 seconds of rotation. Ready? Go. Pull that back a top, so we get what we want. Cool. Stop that. Let's go complete. Fusion. Same as we did before. Advanced. Wait for that to finish. Right, that finished. Oh, there's a couple of bits. I did capture some of the dots around, so see if it picks that one up. That'd be interesting. Isolate, detect. Yeah, it got them. Well, that's all nice and clean. Let's go to mesh. Quality, apply. Give that a couple of minutes. Done. That looks cool. Seems to have picked up a bit more. And didn't really pick up that detail there. Okay, let's have a look. Export both of these then into Blender. See how they look. Okay, so we got those in Blender. That one is the Mini 2 and that one is the Mini 1. First thing I will say is they both struggled to pick up some detail in this right eye up the top there. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's causing that, but that is a weird artifact to have. The next thing to notice is they are... I can't tell the difference, to be honest. They both have defined lips. Maybe they're a bit more pouty on that one. Not sure at all. But the biggest change is the Mini 1 didn't manage to capture this bit of data, doing exactly the same process as the Mini 2. So there must be some sort of difference between the two. Whether it's that sitting closer and sitting further away means they get a bigger picture, not too sure. I've devised a test for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a whiteboard up, and then I'm going to put the Mini 1 up, and then I'm going to go along with a pen and mark the edges of that, and then I'm going to do the same with the Mini 2. Hopefully we see some difference. So this is me setting this to 200mm-ish. And then what I plan to do, let's go along and see if we can see this. Right, well it certainly looks bigger. Am I 200mm away? But I think the beautiful drawing I've done speaks for itself. That one's the Mini 2, that one's the Mini 1. It's definitely larger, so not just further away. So the next thing we want to do is test something straight out of the box, something that you're going to try and go straight in with, and that's a bit of grey plastic from a miniature that sat on my pile of shame for a few years. That is the Obliterator from the Shadow Spear box set. There's plenty of little detail on there, so let's see which one works better picking up that detail without putting any top coat or any preparation layers on. Okay, so I've got the Mini 1 connected. Let's do Blitz 1, Mini 1. Okay, so our exposure is on 3. Everyone's ready to go. We've got the app running. Start. Go. going again at the fastest we possibly can with this, which is 36 seconds of rotation. Would go faster, but I can't. We don't want it overlapping. That's a good amount of data, but we didn't really get the underside. Didn't expect to. Right, turn this on its side. Okay, so let's really see if this does its job. Come on, stitch it up, stitch it up. Yeah, it has. Fantastic. I think we're just overlapping data points here. Cool. Right, let's get that sorted. So we ended up with 1,220 frames. Let's fuse that. Let's go with that. Cool, that turned out pretty nice. Let's do isolation now. Detect. Okay, yeah, apply. And we'll do overlaps because we did do 2 scans. And then we'll check that distance again. Alright. Still a hell of a lot of points. Let's do, yeah, 0.006. Okay, apply that. Finally, it looks like there's a dot that got merged into a model at the back there. Let me see if I can grab that with this connection button. But let's think about it. I think that's not going to work. What I'm going to have to do is do like a cut it out. Could go into the frames and do it. Yes, cut that bit off. But I've had a few issues with it realigning afterwards, so let's just do that. Hit delete. See what we look like. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right. So let's go mesh 6 mesh. Go. 3 minutes. Right, that's done. It didn't come out as noisy as I thought it would, so that's good news. Still a little bit like you see it there. Looks nice though. Let's see how the Mini 2 does with it. Okay, so let's go in here. Mini 2 flips 1. So, and again, we are too near. Oh, so some bits are in. It's good. Let's make sure we're getting all of that data. Again, isn't it? We've had to set that depth camera. I think about 3 is where we want to live. To go any higher, so it's not picking anything out from in this region here. So, I think about 3 is good. Right, so we're just on the limits of what the camera can see. Let's hit start and start. Okay, so he's jumped around. Let's chuck this guy on his side again and make sure that we get the armpit angle. Okay, so that's it on its side. It's all still excellent. Let's go back into Revo Assist, Start, Scan, and it should hopefully pick it up as it did previously. On, find it, find it, find it. Find out where you are. Come on, it hasn't done it. It has not done it. Right, let's try again. Slightly higher angle this time, pointing at more stars. Go, go, pick it up, 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 find something. Yes. Will that good? Again, completed that. Let's go to Fusion. Back down to 0.02. Hit apply, give that 6 minutes. Whew. Okay, so that's done. Let's do some isolation on that. There. Right. Did we get rid of them all this time? Did we end up with any weird ones? Don't think we did. So that's good. Let's go and overlap that. What did we do? 0.02 previously and then 0.06. Let's do the same. Let's do 0.06. Okay, so that's already looking better. Let's go and which that now. Apply. 3 minutes. Okay, so that's that one meshed up. I think it actually got more. No, about that. Let's see. Let's export that and see what they look like in Blender. Okay, so first thoughts then. This one is the Mini 1. That one's the Mini 2. They've both got the same sort of surface noise on them. Maybe a bit more of the Mini 2. Don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that. That's very easy to fix anyway. In terms of detail, let's investigate the face, because that's the bit that we're really worried about. So that's got much on the Mini 1. And that one's got that much on the Mini 2. I mean, it's trying to pick out weird teeth bits. And it's picked out this detail here. And then so is that. I think they're about the same again. We've got the like gun thing there as well. The little face, it's got the little bits here. You know, for me it's quite hard to tell the difference between the two. Again, I would say the Mini 2 has captured more information though, so it's gonna be the easier one to use scanning wise. But what do you think? Very similar? All the same? All good. Okay, so the last thing I want to test is something a little larger. I have this, which is a Mook Farlane 7-inch Intercessor Marine. It's got plenty of detail on it still, loads of like with the detail on his arms and everything. But most importantly, you can pose this how you want. So if you're not very good in 3D modeling or CAD or whatever you want to call it, you can then put that thing in whatever pose you want, scan it essentially, and make a model from it. That does come in grey plastic as well, but to try and get the better results out of it, I've actually sprayed a fine coat of this stuff. This is a Magnaflux Spot Check SKD S2 developer spray, and it goes on and creates a nice matte white texture that you can wipe off afterwards. So if I was to put that guy through a wash, all this would come off nicely and I'd be left back with the grey plastic. So, and it's £7 a bottle, A-sub, 40 quid a bottle, you be the judge. Okay. Right, so we've got the Mini 1 on there. This one is going to be bigger. Mini 1. So I really want to get the feet and everything in this shot. So let's see. That's looking pretty sweet. Okay, go and go. We're going to go as fast as we can again. That's that one. Just that guy up. Stop. Oh, it did lose it. Will it find it? Will it find it? Didn't find the knees. Hasn't found the knees. That didn't work. Let's try again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is try and move this manually as it goes. Go. Okay. I know while that spins around, I think I've got enough data to go and grab. Let's go by the face now. To get that last little bit, I think. Let's wait. There we go. Nice. Let's go. Fuse. Advanced. 0.1 on that. So I think the smallest detail I've got is quite large on this model, so I can afford to go a little bit bigger. See how we go. Did end up with quite a few frames there though, so this might take a while. Alright, let's have a look. And he looks pretty damn sweet. That's actually done really well. That looks lovely. Right, let's go quick do some isolation checks. How many points are we? 7 million? That's not bad. With that many frames, it's done well to get to where it has done. I don't think the head is isolated, you know? Don't know. Could be wrong. So I'm going to cancel that. And then I'm going to go use that one. Pick that. And then what I'm going to do is go to invert. Release that one and delete those. Lovely little feature, that one. That's the select connection bit. Really, really good. Cool little addition in RevoScan 5.4. Cool, let's go and mesh that and apply. 3 minutes. So that's done really nicely. That looks pretty amazing. There's no other weird joggles on that or anything. Cool. Let's fill some of these holes. Detect some. Do some planar hole filling first. So what this does is it picks a load of green areas that it thinks you want to fill planar. So I think that one around the neck is good, and around that neck. Hit apply, see how long that takes. Okay, so that did a good job, and then I think I'm going to say that everything else is going to be curved. I'm going to detect, select it all, but I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I've done that, and then hit apply. And wait for that to fill. It's definitely not watertight, but it's better than it was. Okay, let me export that mesh. Okay, so we've got the Mini 2 connected. Let's get that running. Mini 2. Oh, this is already going to be buckets easier, but let's get it going anyway. Let's pause that a sec. While we adjust, because I don't want to capture too much data. See where I'm going to be able to pick this back up. I think when he gets round to his chest, scale that back, even go even lower. Good. I think that's a more complete picture, isn't it? Well, felt like half the time, or at least half the effort. Cool. Let's complete that. Go over and fuse that. Then advanced. We have it on 4.1. 7 minutes. Oh, hey, that looks great. Alright, let's do isolation again and see if it tries to tell me the head's disconnected from everyone else. Yep, that worked. And we kept the head this time. Let's just see what it's going to do with the rest of those holes. Mesh 6. Oh, let's come back in 3 minutes. Right, let's go and put some planar holes in. Do some hole filling. Right, so I think how we're going to do this again. So let's go that one. Curvy. So let's go, okay. Apply. Selected all the curved ones. Go and select them all, hit apply. Let that fill it up. That's all done. Let's export that out and see how they look in Blender. Right, so they're in Blender now. That is the Mini 2 version. That is the Mini 1 version. Now this is what I believe these scanners were designed to make. They are excellent. I'd say the only thing that one's done that the other hasn't is captured a bit more detail in here to be able to create like a body that joins there, or at least has figured out that that point and that point should be the same. On that one it didn't really have a raid time. It's still tried it, hasn't it? So it's done okay. Oh, I absolutely messed the internals of that up. We'd have to go and fix that. Whereas that one, it's kind of bodged it. But otherwise, in terms of the detail, there is no loss of detail between the two of these. I don't think. I surely can't see it. They've all got the little rivets. Maybe one's got higher than the other, which is the Mini 2. I'd say I probably had better data from the Mini 2 than I did the Mini 1, purely because I wasn't having to overlap as much. because I had that larger working area. But other than that, I'd say they're sort of identical. So I think that concludes it. The two scanners produce the same stuff. It's just if you want something that's maybe a little bit easier to use, you end up using the Mini 2. Does it justify the increased price point between the two of them? In my eyes, yes, because you're going to save a hell of a lot of time doing the actual scanning work. Maybe you disagree with that and you'd rather put the effort into figuring out how to use the Mini one. But as far as I can tell, Mini 2 is the way to go. Cool. Thanks. Bye.